For decades, your paycheck and your savings depended on one invisible system, which was based on the most important agreement in recent history, the petrodollar. And now it's dying. The most important agreement in modern history has already expired. And if you're not paying attention right now, you're about to watch your entire standard of living collapse in real time. For 50 years, the world followed one invisible rule, where every barrel of oil was priced in dollars. Every nation was forced to buy greenbacks just to keep their lights on. It gave the United States an unfair advantage, a superpower that held even when we produced nothing and owed trillions. But the era just ended. The media is silent, and politicians are looking away, because the America you grew up with no longer exists. The belief in your paper money is breaking. The petrodollar is dying, and global dominance is fading with it. Why aren't you hearing this on the news? Because the truth is too dangerous for the masses. But the smart money isn't waiting for a press release. They've already moved. Gold, farmland, and foreign assets. The elite are exiting the system because they know what happens to every empire that destroys its own currency. Money is only valuable as long as people believe in it. And when that belief dies, the value vanishes. Let's look at how this trap was built. It started on August 15, 1971. Nixon cut the dollar's tie to gold temporarily, and that lie has lasted 55 years. Suddenly, the dollar was backed by nothing but a promise. Nixon's government knew they had a problem. Why would anyone trade real goods for paper? The Bretton Woods system was a sinking ship, and they needed a new anchor. 3 years later, they found it in Saudi Arabia. Henry Kissinger made a deal that defined the next half-century. Saudi Arabia agreed to sell their oil exclusively in dollars. In return, the U.S. military became their private security. We sold them weapons and protected their borders. In exchange, we turned the dollar into liquid gold. Soon, the rest of OPEC followed suit. If Germany or Japan wanted to stay industrialized, they had to buy dollars first. This created an exorbitant privilege where we could print unlimited money with zero consequences. We exported our inflation and imported the world's wealth. We paid for real goods with printed paper. It was a power stronger than any military. It lasted 50 years, but every contract has an expiration date, and we just hit ours. In 2023, the silence was broken. Saudi Arabia announced they would no longer renew the exclusive agreement. Central banks felt the ground shake. Trust is breaking, and the collapse is accelerating. Saudi Arabia is cozying up to China. The BRICS nations are now a financial guillotine for the dollar. Trade is shifting under our feet. China is paying in yuan. India is trading in rupees. Gold is back on the table. In 2073, 73% of global reserves were in dollars. Today, it's crashed to 55%. China is dumping U.S. debt. Russia has been hoarding gold since 2014. The world saw that Washington could freeze assets at will, and the trust was gone. France is buying gold. India is exiting the dollar. The world is waking up. This means your salary and your future are at risk. The dollar's strength was based on artificial demand. As that demand vanishes, trillions of dollars will come flooding back to our shores. That's when the real inflation hits. We're not talking 8%. We're talking about a surge that wipes out the middle class in months. The world used to absorb our inflation. Now they are selling it back to us. When those dollars return, the price of everything will skyrocket. Gas, electronics, and medicine will surge. And the government is paralyzed. Raising rates crashes the house of cards, and printing more money feeds the fire. They stay silent because they know panic would only make the collapse faster. This isn't a conspiracy. It's an audit of the elite. Bill Gates is now the largest private farmland owner in America. He wants tangible assets that produce food. Ray Dalio is moving into gold. Warren Buffett is pivoting to commodities. Central banks in Turkey and China are buying record amounts of gold. They know paper is losing the war. With $39 trillion in debt, the U.S. is in a death spiral. Prices rise and wages try to keep up. It's a vicious circle. History is very clear. Spain, the Dutch, and Britain all met the same grave. We are simply the next chapter. But this time, there is no clear replacement. The euro is weak, and the UN isn't trusted because of its authoritarian regime. Bitcoin is volatile. We are heading into a world of chaos. We've seen this movie before. Venezuela collapsed in 5 years. Turkey lost 80% of its value in a decade. The US might be stronger, but we are more addicted to debt. When the crash hits, it won't be slow. The government will try to trap you. They might restrict your cash or introduce digital currencies for total control. This isn't paranoia. It's the playbook of a falling empire. So what's your plan? Stop blind trust. Move away from dollar-only assets. Reduce your debt. Build your own network of family and local communities. Educate yourself and build real skills. Tangible assets like gold or farmland can preserve your value. Every empire falls, and its currency falls with it. The question is no longer if, it is when, and the answer is now. If you see how the system works, subscribe.